All right. Welcome to Into the Light podcast. I'm your host, Edina Mauvana. Today, we're talking to Demetria Buie. Demetria is a successful entrepreneur who has overcome incredible odds to achieve her dreams. From being a high school dropout to living in a dysfunctional family in a group home, Demetria has seen it all. But with her determination and grit, she turned things around, and now she shares her story in her new book, From Broken Woman to Businesswoman. This book provides 12 simple steps to help readers become successful entrepreneurs and achieve their goals. Demetria is proof that anyone can succeed with hard work and a positive mindset. I love that. Thank you, Demetria, for being here. How are you doing today?
I am awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this is great to have you. I love stories of inspiration. It sounds like you have like a wonderful journey and a lot of things to share with our listeners. So I'm so excited to talk to you. I feel like this book is good for anyone, right? We want to talk about our journeys from our challenges to being the most successful versions of ourselves, right?
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit? I mean, I know we were talking a little bit before the show, a little bit about your background and kind of, what brought you here. Maybe what do you like to talk to people about when they first meet you and want to hear about your story?
Again, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and so thankful to be on your show. Absolutely love it. Love what you're doing. A little bit about me. I am Demetria Buie from Louisiana.
Mhm.
I am 37 years old with one son. And my story is it's a journey.
Sounds like
And
it.
yeah, it's been a journey, and I've come a long way to get to my thank you point of just being thankful for absolutely everything. It all started when I was 16 years old, and I used to not be able to talk about it as much as I'm able to talk about it now, and that came from healing and different things like that. And so when I was 16, I was almost molested by a family member, by my aunt's
Oh,
husband. And um, through my life, I've always felt like it was my fault because no one protected me, no one called the police. Everyone, it was, be quiet. It was the hush hush, don't talk about it, whatever goes on
yeah.
in this house, stays in this house, and that did nothing for me. It was hard for me to have relationships, and not just romantic relationships, but just even friends or anything like that. And that came from just that childhood, and it affected my adulthood, and it really took a toll on my life of just even having a relationship with my own self.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like the common thing that I hear is like, a lot of us have these crazy trauma experiences, especially in childhood, right? and
Oh
and
yeah.
it's like you carry all that baggage and those
Oh
issues.
yeah.
It's like it's almost like a mandatory thing, I feel like, in our lives, is to kind of have to confront these trauma events, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so you had and I know you mentioned also you had like a homeless situation. And how did you really start to realize like you needed to take this healing journey and like overcome and some of this stuff? Well,
Yeah.
when did you really realize that?
Yeah. So my dad passed away when I was 18.
Mm.
Me and my sister, we walked into the hospital and we thought he was better, but actually, he had passed away, and the doctors they didn't call, they didn't say anything, and we walked into the room and they threw the covers over his face, and I was like, "Oh yeah, he died this morning." And like I just didn't know how to really just take that of just seeing him gone at that moment. And when I left, I ended up leaving home from Louisiana, and I moved to Richmond when I was 18 years old. And it was to better my life, but I didn't know that so much was going to take a turn of me living in Richmond. At the age of 21, I became homeless. And at the age of 22, I ended up just living in a group home. And it was kind of like, again, there was that feeling of nobody wanted me. And, what do I do in this moment? And I can remember walking into a Goodwill store, and I had on clothes for days. I had clothes that had holes in them. I had no food. I remember losing over 45 pounds, living in a house that was literally 19 degrees outside, and there was no heat in this house. It was like an abandoned house. And someone told me, that was like, oh, you can go live in here. And so basically I'm in this house. But at that moment, I can remember being thankful for being in that house.
Oh.
And so much just took a turn. But in that Goodwill store, something happened, and this lady ended up buying me a notebook and a pen. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to live or I'm going to die, because I had so much that was held on in the inside of me that had built up, and I didn't know how to handle my life or which way to go, because from all of this trauma from childhood, being suicidal at the age of 13, feeling like no one loved you, feeling like you shouldn't have been born, and I said, what, there must be something that I have to do with something. And so when that lady bought that notebook and that book for me, by Joyce Meyer, I remember that. I still have the book.
Yeah.
And
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
yeah, she bought that for me, and I can remember going back to the car. I had a two-door green Saturn. That's what it was. I could never remember what the car was. It was a two-door green Saturn. And I remember writing in that car, because it was told, don't say nothing, don't tell nobody. But I was like, they didn't tell me don't write
Write
it.
it.
So
I love that. So
yeah, it was funny, but I was like, maybe I should write it since I can't speak it. And so I started writing through my pain a lot. And I started writing my first book. So when I first started writing, it wasn't about money, branding, being on the front cover or nothing. It was about, hey, if I don't get out what's holding on in the inside with me, like, I'm not going to live. You can't live through all of this pain, this bitterness, and absolutely all of that. So that's where it started, really. In my homeless season, I was writing, and I was, going through all of this in that season. So.
Yeah, I hear about, like, especially, it's journaling. It's like a great outlet. And I've heard some stories about people creating books from their journaling. And it's just like, that's one of the ways we really start to, heal
Yeah.
and like you said, release those traumas and start to reflect on what's happening internally. So that's beautiful. And, in your book, you say that there's, you provide, like, so people who are, starting off, it says you provide the 12 simple steps for your readers. So maybe it sounds like you've gone through all these steps and you've identified what to do. So can you tell us a little bit about, like, what these steps are and how they lead us to our best life?
Oh, yes. You know what? In this book, I talk about my divorce. I've been married twice, and I got married at a very young age, at the age of 25. And I got married again at the age of 32, but never experienced marriage. And a lot of people ask, you've been married twice, but you never been in love. You never experienced marriage. And I say, no, I haven't. And so I'm just going through just all of this stuff, losing money, making money, divorce, just all of this. And I was this religious person, this person who didn't know herself, this person that didn't know anything about self-love, this person that didn't even know anything. And so after that divorce, in 2020, it was final. And I was getting ready to get into another relationship. And I said, hold on. I began to really listen to myself, and it said, no more relationships. It's time for you to have a relationship with yourself. And so since 2020, it's been self-love.
Self-love. I
And
love that. Yeah.
oh yeah, it's been self-love. And I didn't know what that looked like. And I started to listen to my
Mm,
intuition. And that was something that I never listened to. I always had it. And that intuition of what you feel.
yeah.
Don't do this, don't trust this person, don't do this, don't go there,
Yeah.
don't get into this. That right there is not, it's not for you, or that's not your assignment to take on, you know, and learning to say no to this, or or to do this. And so I started listening to that inner voice of mine, that inner self, that inner spirit. And it was the best thing ever. And I started to do things that made me happy. And it was like little things. It was like sitting on the couch and letting the fan blow and drinking my wine and just, watching what I love to watch. And I began to work out every day. And
Mhm.
I ended up losing 42 pounds, and I'm still on my journey. And all of those stress eating and all of that came from depression and stress. And, and so I really began to just get to know me and who I am, what I really wanted in life. And I was crystal clear about what I wanted in life. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that I had a choice. It was so much that I was learning, and I'm still on this journey of mine of self-love and just being crystal clear about what I want in life, writing it down. Like, what do you
Right.
want? What does that look like? You
Yeah.
know, what
I,
does what does everything look like? So yeah.
yeah, I love that. It's like
Yeah.
very empowering, and I think so many
Yeah.
of us could relate. Like me, I was also married very young at
Mm.
18. Yeah,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, and then I had a 14-year marriage as well, and a
Oh
divorce,
wow.
and two kids, and a couple,
Oh wow.
heartbreaks. But yeah, it's like
Oh.
yeah, healing of our codependencies, of
Mhm.
our I've heard you
Mhm.
talk about like the generational trauma from
Mhm.
the parent, like the family situation. And also
Mhm.
you touched a little bit about the fact that you were kind of religious. I'm assuming,
Mhm.
Christian, and but that really
Mhm.
didn't seem like the most fulfilling time of your life spiritually, right? It sounds like you kind of, did you take a left turn and do some other spiritual healing as well around like your religious tradition, or where do you fit with some of that stuff?
Yeah. So basically, with religious, it's exactly what it is. It was for me. It was. I don't get too deep into it. I don't like to get too deep into the
Yeah.
religious thing, but it was the person of. I was bitter. I was
Mm,
mean to people. Religions come in different types of forms,
right.
but just this journey now, of just my spiritual journey, more of manifesting, more of guidance, more of, I do yoga.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yoga is, yes, yoga is one of the biggest, most peaceful things. Again, working out every day. I am more of an energy person. I know a lot of people don't believe in people's energy, but it is real.
Yeah.
You can pick up on somebody's energy so quickly. And I know that this came from me taking a break to myself. I know the answer is, so many dating relationship coaches are out there, date, go out on dates, get into a relationship. And so basically for me, that wasn't the answer. It was take a break.
Right.
And, everything that I desire, I write down.
Oh, I
And with
love that.
affirmations, yeah, affirmations every single day is I see it before I have it. I see it before I have it. I speak those things that are not as though they already are. So everything that I desire, whether it's peace, love, joy, whatever it was, I spoke it. Even like in my book, I talk about what do you do when you don't have when you're speaking and you're writing down the things and you don't see it. what do you do when you're not seeing what you speaking, or you're not seeing what you have written down?
Yeah, you get
And every
discouraged.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So every single day I tell myself I am beautiful, and I speak in past tense, or I speak in the right now of, I am beautiful, I am healthy, I am well. And so it was about changing my mindset and how I see myself, and taking my own path, my own journey, not what somebody else wanted me to do, because at the end of the day, it's about, what do you want? You matter. In life, we've been told that, oh, it's not about you, or, you come last, and it is about you. You do matter. What you want in life do matter. And what you
Absolutely.
speak in life do matter. Your words matter. Your thoughts, what you're thinking every single day matters.
Right. Yeah. It's like, so you're unlocking all of these powerful keys for like manifestation, right? I mean, I
Oh, yeah.
think, yeah,
Most definitely.
yeah. And
Most
it,
definitely.
and what I like about it is also, it doesn't matter kind of like what religious or cultural
Mhm.
tradition you come from. So it sounds like, these things can, work for anyone at any time. Right. And so, yeah. And so are there anything additional about these like 12 steps? I mean, you mentioned like journaling and visualization and
Yeah.
affirmation. Is there anything else that's really powerful that you think people need to hear about those 12 steps?
Yeah, so I have the book right here, and
Oh,
so
okay.
in chapter 2,
Yeah.
I talk about stop comparing your journey to others,
Oh, I like that.
and I feel that's one of the most biggest things that a lot of us have done, especially on social media now,
Mm,
is comparing your journey to somebody else. Because as long as you are comparing your journey to somebody else's, you can't walk in your own. You can't walk in your own calling when you are constantly comparing, your love life. You are constantly comparing your success. You are constantly comparing your home or your car, or, somebody else's joy, and you just comparing your life, or you want, to be in somebody else's shoes, and you feel that somebody is more ahead in life than you are. And you have to stop comparing yourself, because as long as you are comparing yourself, you cannot fulfill anything that you are called to do, that you are called to be, because you're not walking in that authenticity of yourself.
yeah, you have like maybe jealousy or ego
Oh,
problems.
yeah.
I mean, I know we talk a lot about
Oh,
like
yeah.
limiting our ego in order to really,
Mhm.
and the ego, it lives in this fear and this programming, like you're mentioning, like it's
Mhm.
almost like it wants to hold you down, hold you into
Oh,
those
yeah.
those lower vibes, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I come to realize, I'm getting ready to turn 38,
Mm,
and so I'm just getting to realize, and if I look back through my life, and I talk about it in my book, that it was me that was holding myself back from everything that I
mm,
wanted. It was
wow.
my belief. It wasn't nobody else that didn't believe in me. It wasn't what mama did. It wasn't what daddy did. It wasn't what the man who tried to molest me did. It was it was like I have to come to a point to
Yeah.
forgive, and
Yeah.
mostly forgive myself on this journey, and not look back, but press forward, and to be thankful for everything. And so when I wake up in the morning and I go outside, I say, I'm thankful for the pain that I experienced. I'm thankful for everything that I had to go through in life. I'm thankful for the phone call that I didn't receive. I'm thankful for the phone call that I did get. I'm thankful for the man who tried to molest me. I'm thankful for, just all of that. And so that was hard to do it for. I was like, wow, why am I being thankful and showing gratitude for everything? But that's when your whole life just really changes, and you begin to see those things that you have spoken, those things that you have written down. And it's okay that if you don't see it right away, but keep speaking it, keep your mind on it. you're going to see it come to pass. And I also share keeping those things to yourself. You can't share everything with everybody. And a lot of people say, why am I not seeing the manifestation? Because, sometimes it could be that you're sharing it too much. You don't want to get discouraged. You do not want to limit your belief, and you don't want to limit your faith. So keep some things to yourself, between you and God.
I love
Whatever
that.
you believe in, keep it between you and your God, whatever, and to show love. And I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot of things come to pass, because I had two things on my list that I wanted to see come to pass. And at first I was so worried about it. I was so anxious about it.
Uh-huh.
I said, no, just sit back, relax. It's already yours. It's yours.
Yeah.
And it was just two little things that I wanted. I was like, oh, in my business, I was like, oh, it was simple, but it was what I wanted. It was what I needed. And I sat back and I relaxed. And next thing you know, it was there. It was like, boom. I was like, oh man, now I see it. Now I see it. And I was like, oh, and it gave me a belief. I didn't post it on social media. I didn't call nobody and tell them. It was me. It was me. I was praying about it. I was speaking it. I was doing affirmations about it. It was me. And it came to pass. So now this gives me higher faith, and it gives me more belief to believe in the bigger things, to think bigger, to think outside the box, and to stop limiting myself, because you are great. You are awesome. You have been called to greatness. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah. It's like, you have a great, like, it's like an explanation for why, religions teach this and religions, but we don't really follow it. Right. But when you really cultivate like true faith, or, and even things like keeping your prayers to God, to yourself, so that other, so that you don't get other people's like negative energy when they hear it.
Yes,
oh my God. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then also the forgiveness. I like that caught my ear when you were like having to be grateful for, even the person who attempted rape or whatever, like people have these horrible stories, and sometimes it feels really impossible to get to that point where you're like grateful to the perpetrator, like it's very like it could twist your mind where you don't want to go.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of resistance for that. But this is great. Yeah. Cause it's like, I can definitely relate to a lot of these, examples you've given. So thank you for that. And, so, I know we talked a lot about the role of gratitude. It sounds like living in abundance, and also, unconditional love. Like, it sounds like you're just able to, do you feel like that's really what's able to now attract, like you're almost like creating miracles in your life when you're attracting, this thing in your business? Is it is that what's being activated here, is like the secret to?
Oh yes. As I look back over my life, so much has changed, and love is definitely there, because again, I used to be that person that, as I look now, I'm like, it's so much love in my heart. And it was love then, but I don't think that people was getting love from me. They was getting control from me. They was getting probably manipulation from me, of, oh, come to my church, or do this and do that if you don't do this, or you're this if you listen to this music, or, sticking my nose up at people. So now it's kind of like I can hug whoever, and I can sit and have a conversation, with people, and can definitely love them rather than control people. And I give my story. I give my story to not control people, but I give my story to share my journey of just hoping that, my story could change your life, and for you to not feel that you are alone on your journey, because I may have went through something that you may have went through, and to let you know what, you're not alone, and that you can find forgiveness in your heart, because There are some people that's in their 60s and 70s and 80s that have never forgiven a family member, or have never forgiven somebody who have done something to them. And a lot of people carry all of this hurt in their heart to their grave. Some people,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what, this is it. I'm carrying this to my grave. I'm not forgiving you. It was too hurtful what you did. I can't get over it. Some people that I know personally is 40 years and they're still holding on to what somebody did. Like they can't even look at a picture of the person, or they can't look at this. And, and the thing about it is that you are only holding yourself back for what the world, for what God, what the universe have for you. You are only holding your own self back. There are so much greatness that's out there in the world for you. Everything that you want is there. You can have it, but you are only holding your own self back. And why you see a lot of millionaires and billionaires commit suicide, they never dealt with the past, that childhood trauma.
Yeah.
They were talented, successful, money. You can go anywhere you want. What we wish for, we just want to go. Go anywhere you want, do anything you want, can buy any house you want. People can do whatever they want for you.
But they're not happy.
Never, not happy, not filled with joy, never dealt with anything from their childhood, never dealt with forgiving someone. And so many people commit suicide because it no longer serves them.
Yeah, it's really sad. Like that's why I was like, it's in the beginning is like, oh, this is like a mandatory process, or else you're just hurting yourself in the long run, unless we heal these things. And, that's definitely a common theme I see in my work. And, I talk a little bit about it also on these shows. But yeah, I wanted to see, so if you also work with people, right? I don't know if you do like one-on-one work. I know you have like an exciting entrepreneur summit. So you're also helping people create their ideal businesses and launch their entrepreneur work and projects. Is that right? Are you, because I saw you have what is it? The Refuse to Lose Entrepreneur Summit. It's your 6th annual this year. Is that right? Amazing.
Yes, I'm so excited. This is my 6th annual. We are hosting it in Hollywood.
Oh, Hollywood. Okay.
So it's in California.
I love that.
It's in Hollywood. It's my 6th annual Refuse to Lose Entrepreneurial Wellness Summit. So this is about getting well.
Okay.
And this is about you. This is about us taking care of our bodies, taking care of our skin, taking care of us. And as entrepreneurs, I don't think that a lot of time we talk about the trauma part of becoming an entrepreneur, of the things that you go through. Many people want to just quit their 9-to-5 and become a full-time entrepreneur. I want to quit my 9-to-5, I want to be, but they don't know the other side that's there. And some people get in it and they see the other side, on the entrepreneur side, like, okay, this is not for me. I'm going back to collecting my 9-to-5. And you know what? And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times the journey can be a lonely journey, but that's okay. It's not a bad thing. When you get to a certain point, you will see like, okay, it's not a bad thing, but it is a lonely journey. It can be a lonely journey. So with the Wellness Summit, we have a yoga instructor, private yoga instructor that's coming
awesome.
out. To show us yoga, Pilates, just different things or ways to release stress, following your own path, learning, again, as we talk about the intuition and, manifesting, because it's real. And, the words that you speak out of your mouth is powerful. Your tongue is a powerful tool. And just all of that. And we got our VIP day on that Friday. So I'm super excited to have champagne and fruit to serve to my VIP guests. And we have some sponsors and just different things like that. So speakers that are coming out on both days. I'm just super excited about that. Get them out, DJ, get them up to dancing and just, I love music, love dancing and just different things like that. So
I love it. Yeah, you keep it fun and make sure everyone's having a good time. I think
Oh,
that's yeah, because we want to be on those like higher frequencies, right? When we're doing
yeah.
our manifesting work. So I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's great. And so that's in September. So I know you guys
Yeah.
you're planning it. Do you also work with people like in a coaching capacity, like one-on-one, or what do you do in that area? Yeah.
Yeah, so I work with women who have been divorced, life after divorce. I do one-on-one mentorship. In the future, I may do group coaching, but not this year, not right now.
Okay. Yeah. You've done it in the past. You had some group coaching.
Yeah, I did some group, but I did some writing through your pain. So next year I may do some group coaching called Writing Through Your Pain. Again, that's what I did in my homeless season, so I might do that in the future. But yeah, I do take one-on-one. I don't take a lot because I don't want to be overwhelmed. Because when you are mentoring people, it takes a lot out of you also, and you have to recuperate yourself and get that stuff off of you.
Yeah.
But I don't take a lot of clients right now. So yeah, I do that for women who have been divorced, who dealt with trauma. It's kind of different from coaching. Coaching does not really go deep into like your past and the things that you've been through and how to overcome it, and all the steps and the homework to give you. And so mentorship, I definitely take it as like you're going deep, into helping somebody to overcome these issues. And it doesn't happen overnight.
Right. It takes like our healing journeys. I mean, I see, what do we call that? It's like, you start with the book, you start with this, and then it's like a year or two later, you're like,
you're
thrown around the ocean.
Oh yeah. You know what? Again,
it takes time.
I'm still on this journey. So yeah.
Yeah.
And enjoying the process and trusting the process. So both. Not just trusting it, but also enjoying it. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, so this is great. So let's say, hopefully our listeners, they start to hear this, they want to go out and get your book. What do you best recommend as far as someone who's really resonating and they're like, yeah, I feel like this sounds like what I need to be doing. What is your first thing that you tell them to go do?
So basically, so I do. And so with chapter one, was definitely, I came up with this one and I want to just show it to you. Hold on, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
So basically, number one is I tell people to acknowledge what you have been through. Acknowledging what you have been through in your life. Because most people, what they have been through, what they have dealt with.
Sweep it under the rug.
Oh yeah, sweep it under the rug. They put it on the shelf. Because I was like that too at first. When I got into college and I was like, I'm going to Harvard. I met this guy that had money. I was like, oh yeah, listen, I'm not going back home. I'm going to just have this great life. And, the school that's going to be on my resume, Harvard, law, like, listen, I don't have to deal with my past.
Yeah.
Because I have, this guy that has money, big house, And so my life took a turn when I had a car accident. And I talk about that in the book too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So thankful that it really did, because I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, it's like we have these catastrophic events, and then it's like derailing your life, and then you have to confront the healing process, right?
Yeah, because I was in physical therapy for so long, and some days I'm still going back to physical therapy for my back. And this car accident happened in 2010, and I never wanted to talk about it. And so in physical therapy, I was just like, you know what? I look as someone sent me an email not too long ago. And she said that you helped me through my divorce. She said I was on the verge of committing suicide. And I had no idea. I had no idea. And she said that I listened to one of your podcasts and it helped me to get over what I was going through. And I was just like, wow, I don't know how to take that. And it's just like people, and I come to realize people are actually watching you and they are listening. And I had no idea, like people are really watching and listening to you. And I'm like, they don't say anything, so I don't know, but in actuality, like they are actually watching and listening. And I was just like, wow, I didn't know how to take that. And yesterday, this guy, he told me that he remembered an article that I wrote in 2019.
Oh,
I
wow.
was published in a newspaper about my story. And he said, man, he sounds so touched. And he was remembering it from word to word to word. And I said, why you never said anything? He never said anything. But that comes to just show you that people are actually watching you and they are listening to you. And again, the first thing I would just tell somebody, acknowledge what you have been through. Sit down by yourself. It doesn't have to be, a lot of people do ask me, that I go to counseling. I talk to someone maybe like once a month, but as like full counseling, I did not do that. I felt like I said, this is my journey. I got to deal with this. I looked in the mirror
Look
and I
within.
said, yeah, we're going to deal with this. Now I do talk to someone, about once a month. Not long. We don't do hours, about 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, wow. I like that. Yeah.
And I talk to someone about once a month, maybe twice, but once a month. But I looked in the mirror and I said, I got to deal with this because I did go one time. I did go to counseling twice in person. But I said, you know what? I don't want to do this every day. And that's when I looked in the mirror and I was like, you know what? I got to deal with this.
Yeah.
Demetria, I wrote a letter to one last thing. I wrote a letter to my younger self.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
9-year-old girl. I did. And I did a blog on it and I had a picture of the younger version and then the older version. And I wrote a letter to her and I told her that this wasn't your fault. This wasn't your fault. And I talked to her and I let her go because the old you have to die in order for the new you to be reborn.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Rebirth of yourself. And you look within. I love that. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. So, cause you're changing lives. I mean, this is so wonderful. I'm really excited to, hear your story and spread the word. I mean, you're impacting so many people. So thank you so much for this amazing work you do and the book and the events and the coaching. And it's great. You got a whole empire going and you're the entrepreneur we all want to be. So I love that. Fantastic. So where can people, any of our listeners, I know you have some social media, you got books, I mean, I see a lot of things on you when I Google your name. So where's the best way that people can come and find you or follow you or keep on the journey with you if they're interested?
Yeah. So I am on Instagram.
Okay.
At Demetria for Real, FOR. Demetria for Real on Instagram. I'm on Facebook at Demetria Buie.
Okay.
So find me, at those two places. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And I will have the link for any of our listeners who are, tuning in today. And I have all of my podcast information. It's up on my website at edinamovana.com. And this is great, Demetria. Any last thoughts for any of our listeners before we wrap here? Is there anything you'd like to, leave for anyone who's really excited to be hearing about this?
Yeah. So my last words would be, is to definitely be your authentic self and find out who he or she is. And that's you. Find out who you are. And I found out after all these years, I am this goofy romance writer. And I was afraid to be this romance writer, because I feel like so many people was going to judge me, you know, in the, you know, from the past,
Yeah,
you know,
limit you.
yeah, you know, of writing, you know, what I wanted to write. And I can't, I say, you know what, this is what I love to do. And this is what I'm going to do. So my advice is to find out who you are and what you love to be your authentic self, and to stop pleasing people, or don't start pleasing people, because it's going to put you on the wrong track of your life of fulfilling your own purpose. So those are my
Amazing.
last words.
Fulfill our life purpose. That's what we all
Yes.
want. Our soul,
Yes.
soul's calling. There's so many words
Yes.
for it. And you summarized it so
Yes.
beautifully, Demetria. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm excited.
You.
Yeah, I'm so excited. This is a great, episode we have for you and our audience. So thank you so much. And we will have everything linked in our podcast episode for all of our listeners. And we hope to have you back on another episode, maybe after.
Yes.
That would be great. Okay. Thank you so much, Demetria. And this is Into the Light with Edina Mauvana. And thank you so much. Have a great day.